Hi, Davi here, and today we have a new episode in the art review series. And today we'll be checking out a lesser known artist. I found this artist on Twitter. It's at meerkat_J. And I found these two ones specifically first, kind of on the homepage. And then obviously I had to click to check out this artist. And I do like the vibe of their sketches, their work. It's mostly in black and white, mostly like manga style. Like it's like a comic book, right? The Japanese version, anyway. And I did find one color piece. I mean, there's more, but these are my selected picks that kind of interested me, or the recent ones, anyway, that I kind of liked. So I did find these ones first, this black, gray, and white sort of drawings. And a lot of them are sketches, or they're quick drawings. Like, they're not meant to be fully detailed, but what I do like is that there's a certain rawness to it. It reminds me a bit of the work of I forgot the artist's name, but the manga artist who's responsible for the Chainsaw Man series. Like, if you watch or see the drawings of that, I mean, I don't read manga, but I've seen like the pages or the artwork. Like, it has this sort of raw style where it looks like it was done without a sketch underneath. And if you look at the line work, it's not, sometimes it goes over the other lines. It's not always clean. Like, if you look at the edges, any kind of overlapping, intersecting line, sometimes it doesn't meet, sometimes it overshoots, right? And the line weight is not, I mean, yeah, there's a variety of line weight, but it's not always intentional, I think. There's sort of a randomness to it. I mean, you can tell that, there's obviously like a darker shadow area here. It's just shaded in black. I mean, yeah, but if you look at the actual line work, like, this one is thick, the first three ones or four ones are thick, and then you have like thinner ones. And the way it's hatched, it's not consistent again. You do have to zoom in. If you zoom out, it's kind of hard to see, but if you zoom in, there's sort of a chaotic element to it, right? But maybe chaos is too strong of a word, but I just like the vibe. It's so like freeing to me, and it makes me want to draw. And now this one doesn't have any kind of shading, no grayscale or no grays. There's a bit of shadow here, but I think this was done in one shot. And I think there is a value to sketching this way. It sort of forces you to gain confidence, and I think that's why people say, oh, like, you should learn how to draw with a ballpoint pen or a very solid brush, because it forces you to not be as hesitant. Even if you make a mistake, just do another one, or just draw over that recent line you just did. And I think it sort of forces you to eventually gain that confidence over time, right? And because if you do a sketch and then you do an ink work on top of that, oftentimes you can lose the energy of the original sketch. So why not do things kind of at the same time? Yeah, it's not going to be as clean. Again, if you just look at the edges, sometimes it kind of misses it, like it misses the other line, or sometimes it overshoots the other line. But there is like an energy to that sort of thing. I do like this look more where there's black, white, and gray, right? And I do like how it's focused really on shapes here. For example, if you look at how the hands are simplified, I do recommend you find artists who post a lot of their sketches and try to study them, because you can see how they do their like shorthand versions of, say, the arm or legs. And study how the contours, like which lines or what lines do they choose to keep, say, when drawing the hand, when drawing the hair, right? I do like the shading technique too. Gray, black, and white. The shadow parts with the hatching on the sort of in between the gray and the black. And again, it's not very consistent, right? It's not an even hatching, and I think that contributes to that rawness. I do like how the knees where these parts of the body are rendered. It reminds me of Kim Jong-gi a bit, where they're very short hatch lines. And they're very minimal. They're not all over the place. They're sort of where the intersections are, right? For example, the knees. Maybe you can see it a bit here in the quads, right? Because there are like 3 major. I'm not sure how many, but like you can tell if someone is kind of muscular, the muscles do tend to separate from each other more clearly, and you can indicate that by just adding a bit of like short dashy lines. Really cool. There's a bit of shading here with the round brush. It looks like it very light gray for the sleeves. And the hair too. So the light is coming from above, or maybe there's some lighting behind her, I think. But it's a very solid sketch or drawing. It's hard to say. It's sort of going in between, because it could be its own like style. I mean, it could be like an underdrawing, or it could be the final thing as well. Kind of like this. Like just being able to maybe they do this on the fly. I'm guessing they do this on the fly. You know, just straight to the point. And even though the proportions can be off and are off, it doesn't really take away from the message or the idea. Like, it seems like mistakes are almost welcome in this space. I'm guessing here it's done in one go. Maybe a very rough, basic initial. Now this one seems more done, because the lines are a bit cleaner, right? To me. I don't know. But it still has that like sketchy vibe to it, which I like. Look at how the hands are done. So this hand is kind of closed fist. This one is open. Like, how do they, like, which? There's a bit of fat here, right? Like, when you look at your palm, like, there are like 3 lines within the palm that's usually shown. Like, you have to find these things. And you have this sort of like, well, not all. Some people have this thing. I do have it where, I'm not sure what this, it's like a tendon. Apparently some people don't have that. So that's interesting. Look at how simple it is. I like it. Right? Is it perfect? No, but why does it has that like rawness to it? Like a realness. Like you're just focusing more on the story, which is cool. Like, it's not meant to be its own thing. Like, there's an idea attached to it, and maybe that's why some drawings are just more powerful than others. Is because there's something behind it. Like, for example, for this one, there's like a story there. This chick is being compassionate to this chick. You can tell by the hand, by the way she's looking at her. But this one, she has like a gun to her freaking face. So, like, that's the thing that's making you think, right? Making you feel something. Same thing for these sketches, right? Even though it's not even, it's like a montage of different viewpoints, but the emotion and the facial expressions, right? Her being happy, her being kind of serious, her being like cautious or curious, her being somewhat shocked, surprised. It's not finished in any way, but again, there's an idea behind it. And I think that's why I'm very influenced by manga or comic book artists. Like, they have a way of drawing it's not always like perfect. They're not like technical artists in that regard. And you'll notice the more super technical an artist is, the less emotion their work has, right? It's not just in manga or in comic, like even in concept art spaces or in illustration spaces. If it's too strong, like if it's too like rendered, if there's too much like detail, I I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you do lose that story a bit, right? This one seems like a movie poster. Broken violin, right? I like it. Again with the hatching, very minimal hatching, but look at those fingers. So she has like sleeves that are just, and it's kind of a very long sleeved sort of thing where it goes beyond the hand, or it kind of reaches the knuckles, right? Very cute. Look at how the hair is done. Lots of way more hatching, obviously, more darks. But look at how the eye is illustrated. It's more simplified than typical, manga, anime sort of stuff, where it's so, because that's a pretty common thing in these sorts of styles, where the eyes are just so pretty. But this is the exact opposite. Not that it's ugly, but it's just not as detailed, I guess. But the emotion is there. Like she's kind of knocking on you or something. Maybe knocking on your door. That's what it looks like anyway. Like she's knocking. And maybe you just open the door before she knocks, right? Minimal lines too, very gestural in a way. Yes, it's focused on shapes, but it's not as angular. It's more fluid. You can see it in the hair, in the clothes, even in the arms. It's not like angular. Now this one, I do like this style again. Gray, black, white. Very simple. But it's just freaking cool. Oh look! They don't draw a line for the lower part of the eye. They do draw the eyelashes. In the top part, they do draw a line, but with eyelashes too. Interesting. Let's look at this chick. Right? It's so simple, but why is it so cool? Right? Like there are storyboard artists too that can do this, where even though it's not a full painting, like the story is just there. Right? I like this, the black, strong blacks here. Again, look at the hatching. Is it consistent? I don't think so. It's very suggestive, very sketchy. Look at the line work, very fluid, hardly any like straight lines. And even if they are straight, let's see in the hatching parts, it's not consistent in terms of spacing. It's quick, but it's fluid and essential. Like you don't need any more lines. And again, look at this, the emotion. To this guy sort of, is that a pill? It looks like a pill. Maybe he's catching one or throwing it away. Maybe he feels like committing suicide. He feels kind of depressed or looks depressed. Look at how the eyes are done. Very simple. But, and I like the lighting too, right? Like his face is in shadow, so it looks like his personality, or right now his emotion is, he's kind of in a dark place. That's how it looks like to me. Oh, the storytelling is so cool. I like this one too. Look at how the hands are done. Is it perfectly perfect? No, but it's enough. Again, that's this style of black, white, and some gray shading. I do like the textured look of the pen being used here. It's very gritty. It's like it was done with a ballpoint pen and then it was scanned. Right? So it has a very sharp look. Maybe they do sharpen their drawings in the end. Again, look at the nose. Oh, very simple. The mouth. Oh my god. So the lighting is coming from below, as you can see. Interesting. But the lines are not, it's not overdone. It's not overdone. Right? Oh my god. Did we miss anything? This one is a bit empty. I would prefer with some more darks, but I know it's more of a sketch, but it still works, right? or some grays. This one's pretty cool. Oh my god. I like it. So check out this artist. Yeah, it's pretty scattered. It's not like you see one kind of art. Obviously, it's mostly on like storytelling, character art, I guess. You do see some character sheets here and there, exploring their, poses, mannerisms, facial expressions, stuff like that. But it's mostly like manga types of artwork. If you're interested in this kind of work, I do recommend you check out Meerkat at Meerkat_Dre on Twitter or X. And yeah. So that's it for this art review. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.